Ohio's #1 choice for news. Cleveland's own Fox 8 News starts now.
The race to succeed Frank Jackson is now down to only 2 candidates following Tuesday's primary. Thanks so much for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Elizabeth Eureka.
And I'm Joe Toohey. Either Justin Bibb or Kevin Kelly will be Cleveland's next mayor. Political newcomer Justin Bibb emerged as the top vote getter, separating himself from the remaining candidates with 27% of the vote. City Council President Kevin Kelly broke away from a tight race for second place with 19% of the votes cast. Both appeared side by side on Fox 8 News in the morning at 8 a.m. with Wayne Dawson, with Bibb saying the results show voters are looking for change, Kelly touting his experience and actually taking on tough issues within the city, the two giving us a glimpse of what their campaigns might look like from here.
First priority is bringing together our safety forces, all the partners that are in this, and dealing with our epidemic of violence right now.
Well, the first thing I want to do is something I've done with successful mayors all across the country. We got to do a top-down audit of every single department to determine what's working and what's not working to get our priorities straight.
Both candidates will now appear on the ballot again in just 2 months for the November general election.
A TikTok challenge is creating havoc in local schools. Police are now warning parents amid thefts and damage to school buildings resulting from a social media stunt. Rocky River police say students there are taking part in the devious Lick TikTok challenge being seen nationwide. It involved kids stealing items from schools and then posting the video to get likes on TikTok. Police say in the last week there have been multiple thefts a day at Rocky River High School and Middle School, most from school bathrooms with soap and paper towel dispensers ripped down and stolen and pipes damaged. Police want parents to talk to their kids about this and the potential consequences.
Kids need to understand that, there's going to be consequences for their actions, and that not only could they potentially miss school, but they could potentially have criminal charges to the police department.
Yeah, so don't do it. Rocky River police say they are reviewing school surveillance footage and interviewing students, and they'll hold students accountable for their crimes. President Joe Biden is defending his vaccine mandate as the best way to get workers back on the job.
Meanwhile, opponents of vaccine mandates getting 2 wins in court Tuesday. Judges in New York put temporary holds on mandates for medical workers statewide and public school employees in the city, but other vaccine mandates remain in effect. The president defended his actions, claiming mandates will help promote economic growth and accelerate the path out of the pandemic, but a growing number of businesses and elected officials say they don't plan to comply.
Vaccinations mean fewer infections, hospitalizations, and death, and in turn, it means a stronger economy.
We're doing everything we can to keep our employees, our inmates, and our residents safe, but it's up to you to keep yourself safe also.
Meanwhile, schools have been forced to close in almost 3 dozen states because of COVID outbreaks, putting increased pressure on the FDA to approve vaccines for 5 to 12-year-olds. Here in Ohio, the Department of Health is reporting more than 7,700 new cases of COVID-19 over the last 24 hours. That pushes the 3-week average to more than 6,000 cases per day. Nearly 300 people were admitted to hospitals, 18 of those needing critical care. Nearly 80% of all ICU beds across the state are now full.
And high transmission of the Delta variant has local and state officials going to great lengths to make sure you know just how serious of a situation we're in. Cuyahoga County just issued what they are calling a mask advisory, saying regardless of your vaccination status, you are encouraged to wear a mask indoors. Right now, Cuyahoga County is averaging about 300 COVID-19 cases per day. That's a 600% increase since July. School-related cases in Cuyahoga are increasing. The Board of Health says there's been nearly 1,000 cases reported this school year, and more than 80% occurred in the last 2 weeks. Currently, about 54% of Cuyahoga County is fully vaccinated. At our current levels, the health commissioner says there are a lot of people still at risk of contracting and spreading the virus and also experiencing severe symptoms.
Modelers at Case Western Reserve University and the University of Akron have validated this disturbing trajectory, as they are now predicting that we could exceed 1,000 cases per day by early next week if person-to-person contacts and transmission stay at the current levels and trajectories. These levels would represent our worst days from last winter. Area hospitals are reporting that they've reached 80% of their capacity to treat patients who may present with illness just as flu season is starting.
ICU beds are a real concern here. Local hospitals are at 90% capacity in their ICUs. Health officials say keep this in mind. If people don't put on a mask indoors and don't get vaccinated, they are predicting they will likely have to stop patients from coming into hospitals for other issues of concern.
The Fox 8i team is now investigating what the rise in COVID cases means for Browns fans with the first home game coming up this weekend. The Browns say there are no changes. The Buffalo Bills have announced new rules saying fans must be vaccinated to attend. The Browns issued a statement saying there is nothing new to share at this time, but said the organization will continue to monitor COVID-19 developments and will adhere to all local state government regulations. Meanwhile, the much-anticipated 2021 debut of Odell Beckham Jr. has been put on hold. Coach Kevin Stefanski opened his media session today by saying that Beckham is out for this week. OBJ was injured against the Bengals in October of last year and had surgery in early November. While he's shown flashes of his pre-injury self, he has been held out of team drills and contact drills during his rehab. He suited up before the Chiefs game but was deemed not ready to play and sat out. Stefanski said there's no setback and OBJ continues to progress.
The city of Cleveland is unveiling a grand plan to transform the riverfront area of downtown Cleveland. The new vision for the River Valley is the focus of a public-private partnership between the city and Bedrock, a commercial real estate firm owned by Cavs owner Dan Gilbert. Bedrock Cleveland owns about 30% of the land that will be redeveloped, and portions of the plan will be contingent on reaching agreements with other property owners. The 20 to 30-year plan includes the redevelopment of Tower City and underutilized areas including the river, including Collision Bend. But Clevelanders are asking, why is the city pursuing such a grand plan when so much of the economy is in a state of flux and many neighborhoods and the school system continue to struggle?
The market will drive things, and as this becomes successful, and Cleveland becomes more in demand for not only office space but for entertainment, residential, recreational activity, you'll see things begin to change. We're not looking at this as what things are now. We're looking at this in terms of where we want to position Cleveland for the future.
There will be a series of public hearings to get feedback from the community about the long-term plan. Olympic athletes testifying on Capitol Hill today.
Still to come here on Fox 8 News at 7, powerful testimony from the survivors of Larry Nassar's abuse. Why they're now pointing fingers at the FBI and USA Gymnastics.
Is social media doing more harm than good? The alarming statement from Instagram and what it's doing to lessen its negative effects on users.
And do you want to live like an NBA superstar? Real estate agents are calling this Orlando mega mansion a great deal. A look inside and the priceless opportunity that comes with it. Andre.
All right, Joe, the week was split, the work week, right down the middle. Front half, warm, humid. Now we're on this side of the fence, and it's going to cool off and dry out a little bit heading into Friday. And we'll look at all the details, including your weekend, coming up.